But let's get a sense of trends in disbursals and collections in the microfinance segment. In fact, we do have a lot of Q1 FY23 updates which have come in from a whole host of companies as well. Bhaskar Babu Ramchandran, who is the MD and CEO of Suryodaya Small Finance Bank, and Alok Mishra, who is the Director and CEO of Microfinance Institution Networks, joins in now. Welcome to the show, Mr. Ramchandran, as well as Mr. Mishra. Mr. Ramchandran, I'll start with you. If you can just give us a sense in terms of the overall quarter gone by, how were collections for you all, say, compared to Q4, where there was this impact or a tad bit of an impact because of Omicron as well, which seems to have settled this quarter, as well as where exactly did you possibly face any stress?
Good morning. So overall, I think the Q1 was an extension for the positive momentum over Q4 what was built up. There were not major impact in terms of Q4 in terms of Omicron variant at all, at least in the microfinance space to an extent I know. And we continue to have a marginal increase over collections. The momentum has been forward from Q4 of last year, with Q1 of last year to Q2 better than the previous quarter, and each quarter sequentially has been better. So we ended up with the collection efficiency which was higher than what we saw in Q4. Similarly on the disbursal test.
Are you facing stress in any particular geography, or is it evenly spaced out?
The stress in some of the markets where we don't operate is the eastern part of the country, but the markets in which we operate, Maharashtra, has displayed a little larger stress than the other markets, so which is coming back into near normalcy. It will take probably another quarter or so, reflected by the fact that the disbursements done after July 21, including in Maharashtra, have been behaving at around 98-99% in terms of collection efficiency. So the residue which was left out of the COVID in terms of Maharashtra continues to linger on. But the good news to note is that even customers who are not paid for a very long period are coming back into the paying force. We expect that momentum to continue being in touch with the customers.
Okay. So you expect the collection efficiency to probably rise in the state of Maharashtra?
Yes, the trend has been that way.
Okay. Your advances have been quite strong in terms of your business update. It's up around 28% on a year-on-year basis. Can you give us a sense in terms of where exactly geographically are you seeing the strongest amount of advances as well as sector-wise?
The growth in advances has been uniform across in all the geographies that we operate. Three of our core geographies happen to Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, and Odisha. They're seeing the same momentum. The customers who have been through COVID-1, COVID-2, who continue to be very well paying, both displayed by their intent and their ability, has been closer to 85% of the base which was there as of March 31st, 2020, when the COVID really hit us. So to that extent, I think that the momentum has been continuously forward. We're not seeing any unusual spikes in demand in terms of credit across any market, but it has been steady at around close to 25 to 30% across markets.
All right. Let's also get in a word coming in from Mr. Mishra, who's the Director and CEO of Microfinance Institutions Network. Mr. Mishra, I was looking at Bandhan's update, and that showed pain in Assam in particular. Can you tell us how bad can it get, if at all, and why is it that there's no relief that has been announced by the government, the Assam government, yet?
Good afternoon. And I think when you use the word that you see pain in case of Assam, I think the pain is a story of 1.5 years back. The things are improving, but not improving to the extent which we like. And as you know that there is a scheme called Assam Microfinance Incentive and Relief Scheme, which has been put in place, where the borrowers who have been eligible for relief, they have been divided into 3 categories: Category 1, Category 2, and Category 3. So the Category 1 process is already complete, and an amount of around 1,700 crores has been given by state government. In Category 2 and 3, which are overdue and NPA clients, which because of various reasons, the relief is a bit delayed. We expected it to start in the month of April, and then it got delayed to May. And then you see that in Assam there has been a serious flood situation. Last week, we met the Chief Minister, and Chief Minister, when we went to make our contribution for flood relief to the Chief Minister's Relief Fund, and the Chief Minister is very firm on the thing that all these categories, Category 2 or 3, will be completed hopefully by October or November, coinciding with the Durga Puja festival. And we believe that things are only looking up. Only because of floods, there was a slight delay. So I don't agree with completely with your view that you see pain. Pain was there 1.5 years back, but pain is easing out. And by March 23, I expect the operations in Assam to become to a normal level.
Okay, so what would you say the collection efficiency is at this point in time when it comes to Assam? And where do you expect it to probably move up to and stabilize at?
Yeah. See, when if you look at March 2019, in case of Assam, Assam was the third best state in India in terms of repayment. Over a period of two and a half years, it went through so many things that recovery came down almost to some places to 35%, 40%. It is inching up, and with the scheme announcement by the Chief Minister, it has inched up. We went up to 60%, 65%. It became, because of flood, it has become marginally down because the institution-wise differences are also there. But currently, if I have to put a figure on that at an average figure for the sector, I would put it somewhere around 50 to 55%. But I expect by March, when the whole scheme is completed and the state government thing is over and the institutions start normal work of credit disbursal and repayment collection, and there is no livelihood shock like flood or COVID wave because both are behind us, I expect the recovery to touch 85%, 90% by March 23.
Okay. Let's go back to Mr. Bhaskar Babu Ramchandran. Can you comment on the net interest margin trajectory, because we're in a rising interest rate scenario, so to say, and what's been the leverage on a single customer for you? Average, how does that compare with the previous quarter?
We continue to have an average outstanding of less than around 30,000 per customer, and average disbursal happens to be around approximately 50,000 per customer. So we continue to be marginally higher, probably around closer to 7 to 8% higher than what you would have seen last year, same period, or probably very, very marginal compared to what we saw in Q4. So we continue to kind of here have that around less than 30,000 exposure per customer in the microfinance.
And the NIMs, your view on that?
It comes with a lag, so we are kind of having a liquidity surplus of around close to 1,000 crores on the balance sheet, which predominantly are fixed costs. The rollover of deposit comes with a lag, so there will not be much marginal substantial increase in our cost of funds, and to an extent we are continuing to retain the rate which we are advancing even 2 quarters before. We are not increasing our pricing for the microfinance segment.
So looking at in terms of maintaining the NIMs?
Yes.
What range are you looking at? I was looking for a number.
So 10 to 11% is what the targeted is.
Okay, Mr. Mishra, I just wanted to come in with regards to the collection efficiencies that you spoke about. Overall, how would that translate into asset quality for the second half of the fiscal, according to you?
Well, as you know that in case of NBFCs, the provisions which apply are Ind AS, where we do expected credit loss based provisioning. And even in case of our member institutions like Suryodaya, which are governed by IREC, when I look at the balance sheets, most of the expected credit losses during the COVID last 2 years have been provided for. And with the credit collections improving, coming almost to pre-COVID levels, I think the pain is over, and the credit cost will normalize between 2 to 3 or 4% in the next half.
Okay, Mr. Ramchandran, just wanted to end this conversation by asking you about, I know you can't, get into details in terms of numbers, obviously, but Q4 was quite a tough quarter for you all. There was a net loss which was reported as well. Do you think you're in a better position when it comes to asset quality as well as the bottom line?
I would say that it has been better. It continues to improve. Last quarter was where we did accelerated provisioning, and to the extent there was a loss. We kind of as guided earlier and continue to, is that the pre-operating profit was robust at around 80 crores, and we kind of guided earlier that it will keep increasing quarter on quarter over this year.
Okay. All right, Mr. Mishra as well as Mr. Ramchandran, we're going to leave it on that note. Thanks very much for joining in and speaking with us. So yes, while Assam could be a problem in terms of collection efficiency, now there is an expectation that it could probably improve in the coming quarters. That's the word coming in from the MFI experts. We need to take a short break.